The prince drops the bomb that he's here to nullify their engagement. Normally, an ordinary woman would burst into tears, some would even fly into rage, but Victoria? Nah, she straight up says she won't permit it. The poor prince is stunned, like what in the medieval Uno reverse is she even talking about? But Victoria repeats herself, that she is not going to permit this. The prince keeps barking, but she shuts him down with a simple refusal. He hesitates, then blurts out that he is actually in love with Maria, the daughter of the Baron, that's why he wants her to break it off. But Victoria smirks and says this is gonna be troublesome because she's head over heels in love with him. His brain is officially short circuits, he blurts out that this is actually scary. Victoria doubles down, declaring her love for him. She tells him his only job is to stand by her, and she's going to make him shine like the main character he's clearly not. Everyone around them bursts into applause. Victoria then sprints straight toward Maria. She knows, Maria's family is simmering like a pot about to boil. If Maria bags the prince, they're rolling in cash, but there's a giant roadblock, the hell-level class difference between the royal family and the Baron family. Not to mention, the Duke family is also a rival. Maria gets grilled if she even understands this mess. Her family grows grapes, but plot twist, their shiny new vineyard is tanking. Grapes? Mid-business? Flopping. They need money fast. Maria doesn't want to part with the necklace she got from her mother, but deep down she knows this isn't just about nostalgia selling, it could help. Then her maid starts yapping, they think that Maria seems better, so it would be smarter if she married the prince. Maria, being self-aware, knows this whole thing is ridiculous. But the maid keeps pushing, saying the prince is super nice and totally deserves someone like her. On top of that, they've heard tons of nasty rumors about his fiancée. Slowly, hope starts to rise in Maria's heart that if she scores the prince, maybe she won't have to sell her mother's necklace to save the family. So Maria doesn't care if it's some loveless marriage lore says whether it's her beauty or her skills, she'll weaponize it. She decides to pull out her Riz skills to capture the naive little heart of the prince. She's not worried, if it's her, she's confident she's going to succeed, or so she thinks. But now, standing in front of Victoria, Maria is convinced this woman is not just some rival, she's an evil witch about to crush her like a bug for trying to steal her fiancé. Except Victoria pulls a total plot twist. She looks at Maria and, with a calm face, says her family might be able to help alleviate the Baron family's struggles. She's got money, she's got status, so she's straight up going to give them a loan. Maria is shook to her core, wondering if this girl is actually serious and actually planning to help them. And now all she can see is Victoria as an angel. She calls her out as dear sister, all cute and glowing, as if heaven itself just sent down a blessing. She calls Victoria big sister, but Fred shouts that she was supposed to be in love with him, not his fiancée. Victoria calls out to Fred the prince that now all he has got is some nasty scandal, being swept away with his lame feelings. She questions him, like who would even love such a naive prince. She starts to gaslight him, and he is also comic with this, thinking that maybe she is right. He didn't consider his position as the prince at all, and he displayed such disrespect to his fiancée right in front of everyone. The nobles are surely appalled. He lost sight of himself due to his so-called feelings for Maria. He starts to cry, like who indeed will take someone like him as a husband and who will even love him. He cries so hard that people start to murmur that indeed he is an automatic saltwater fountain. Ever since he was a little boy, he would cry randomly, like an ocean of tears, so he got this nickname. But only he doesn't know anything about it. Victoria says that she is going to love him, so all that he needs to do is just stay by her side. She doesn't care if he is stacked with some dead scandals, and she wants him to just witness the great future of the kingdom. She motivates him that he can do it after all, that he is the future king of the empire, and she asks him to make her and the citizens believe in the future. And this day they will surely flourish. All the people there start to clap, because of this motivational speech they get to hear for free. Victoria grabs his face and asks him to never do this again. He says yes, so she says it again, that they should get engaged and marry. A few days later the prince ascends the crown and becomes the king, and once again Victoria turns out to be the greatest. People start to murmur that they watched Victoria be the one that proposed to Fred and that she even took him to his bed in her arms. They all think she is super cool. Victoria, out for the clever too, is seen as the most almighty and perfect queen. The people notice that even though Fred looks a little stupid, he is also dreamy. A man in the alley stomps his leg on the wall, scoffing that this is all too lame, because to him the royal family are just some jerks who laugh and pretend that they are above everyone else. They have no idea how much the citizens are suffering. And he is salty too, because the clothes that they are wearing are made of high silk fabric, and they are also wearing extravagant perfume. He hates them, not just dislikes them but utterly despises them. Fred asks Victoria if she looks tired already, and he assures her that this is the royal capital and the security is tight here, but even if she still is not feeling well or worried about something, she can tell him. Victoria is impressed that he is thinking about her and worrying about her too. She mentions that it is just that her feet hurt from walking today. She might not speak much, but she is in good health. The man on the other hand comes out and takes his gun, because he is sure that he is not going to have any regrets about it. He plans to start with this lousy king, but smash suddenly as he gets ready to target, Victoria comes in front of Fred. Fred calls out to her, all shouting, but she stands there unharmed, shocking everyone with a smirk. She looks at everyone like a total boss. Sniper Tiga is the eldest son of a poor family. Ever since his father, a former soldier, injured his leg, they have been working at the farm just to survive. But that man drinks because of his sorrow, and he even starts to hit his son out of frustration. His weak sister cannot help him at all at the farm, so Tiga ends up doing all the work himself. His sister's condition keeps getting worse, but he does not have enough money to take her to a doctor. Still, he admits deep inside that it is not his father's fault either. One day, someone comes to Tiga and announces that Fred the King is getting married, and there is going to be a parade in the capital. They will also give out food to eat. But Tiga is all pissed, because he knows the only reason these royals are living all cool and shiny is because of their tax money. The citizens are out here suffering way too much, while the royals are just chilling, and he low-key hates them all. Back to present, people start to murmur that Victoria got shot, so she is unharmed like this. Fred panics and wants her to stay still because he plans to take her to the doctor right away. But she calms him down and says she is not vomiting blood, that it is just a cancer sore. He is dumbfounded, unable to understand, but she is all fine. She exclaims that she knew something like this would surely happen, so she got her dress laced with some orichalcum. But the people are still worried, thinking she got shot, so they assume the culprit must be somewhere around here. They all start to rush back to their houses, but Victoria inhales and shouts at them to control themselves, and just like that, they all go super quiet. Victoria points out that the shot came from that direction, and the crowd splits, and Tiga is standing right there. She asks him to come forward, but if he don't plan to come forward, she can drag him in too. Tiga notes that there is no turning back from this place, and he is okay to once again hit the queen, so she goes down with him in history. Fred freaks out and tries to cover her, saying she should step back. But she explains to this fool that the king holds more importance than the queen, so she needs to be his shield. The soldiers come and ask her to move back too, because they claim they will control this situation from here. But she orders them not to move a single step, because this man is serious. If anyone interferes, he will surely shoot the king again. And she is not the type of woman who is going to just stand there and watch her man get hurt, because if there is a single scar on her man, she is going to get it engraved. They all think that she is the one who looks handsome, but realization soon hits Tiga. He starts to insist that he doesn't care how good she looks, because at the end of the day she is a noblewoman. And yet, she has spent a large sum on her stupid dress. She says she is unaware about that, but Tiga snaps back that if she is saying she doesn't even know, then she is that damn hypocrite. He points out that her dress costs a fortune, and he questions who she even thinks she is. Victoria replies that of course she is the queen, so in other words it feels like Tiga just has a problem with her being dressed all elegantly. He shouts that this is so true, that citizens are the ones who work all this damn hard, but the nobles and outsiders are the only ones enjoying the actual life. She understands this point and asks him if he is willing to lay down his life for the country. But within a beat, he shouts that of course he can't do that, because his life is his own. She agrees, saying indeed it is the normal reaction. She points his gun at herself and reminds him that the royals are ready to give up their lives for the country. They even let other countries take them as hostages to protect their citizens, and if they fail, they get killed. She says that in the time of war, some of the feudal lords are the ones that take the main lines, and also the ones who get killed first. And those who are prepared to do so are the ones worthy of being called nobles. This dress she is wearing is not just a fashion statement, it is the determination statement. It is the testimony of nobles who are ready to sacrifice their lives for their people. Everyone is so shocked with her speech, but Fred thinks that Victoria is the only one who would go that far. Still, he doesn't have the guts to say it out loud to her. She comments that the royals and the nobles are all here to protect their people, and they better not forget that she is going to love them, even when they despise her because she is willingly ready to give her life for them. Tiga drops to his knees. Victoria kneels down too and asks him not to look down on himself. She tells him that if it really exhausts him, if living is really this hard, then he can seek something further. And that line hits the people right in the heart, like a literal arrow. Victoria then gets on the horse and declares that she is relaying this truth to all of them. Again, her mouth starts bleeding, making her realize that it feels like she talked way too much. Fred goes to Tiga and pokes him, saying that they are giving out bread and wine, so he should just forget about all of this for now and eat all he wants, and maybe even cheer up. Fred even adds that he is going to arrange a proper investigation about him and the village. Afterwards, Tiga is imprisoned and sent to jail, but with the Queen's help he is released after 3 months. After returning to the village, he accuses the feudal lord of being too demanding with taxes. The feudal lord, who collected taxes through devious means, is convicted of his crimes and sent away somewhere. A few months later, Tiga volunteers to work as a castle guard, with 2 days off every week and no overtime at work. The conditions are good, the pay is fair, and he uses his wages to buy medicine for his sister and father. His sister's condition starts to get much better after the first treatments begin. She is able to laugh again, able to take walks, and she even starts to regain her strength. Tiga thanks the doctor, but the doctor tells him that he should have thanked the sender who asked him to look after his sister. The problem is that Tiga doesn't even know who sent the letter, because the name on it was really weird. And here comes Fred complaining like, was there really no better name to put down than automatic slay Easter generator lovey-dovey eternal love on the letter? But Victoria thinks the name is actually pretty fitting. Fred asks her why she can't just shower him with some love instead. She replies that she is already showering him with so much love in the bed. Fred sighs that he really doesn't get the thing about baking stuff, but Victoria sets down her teacup and finally asks him why he dared to break the engagement with her. He sighs again and explains that she is always so cool and proud, and with that, he lost all his confidence as a man. That's when he met Maria, and she encouraged him, even telling him that he is really manly. She used to give him lunch, even hand him towels after his horse riding, and that's the time when she asked him to choose her in front of everyone if it was okay. That is when his feelings were shaken. Victoria slams the chair and leans in close to him. She assures him that he is really charming, and that he has captivated her so much that he is the reason she is like this. She tells him that he might be a fool, but he is honest, and that is what makes him lovable. She knows that he doesn't actually hate these things. Fred pouts and says he doesn't hate it, so yes. Victoria kisses him, and then he also asks her to let him do something for her once in a while. At this, Victoria smiles, but if he is being truly honest, he can't really get used to her doing these kinds of things for him. She pushes him down on the ground and points out that to her, he is still a man, and he always was. And if he really wishes, she can also hand him a towel and even some lunch. But Fred is still salty over the fact that he just got pushed down by a girl. At a certain parlor, the ladies gossip, spotlight naturally falls on Lady Delphine. They start whispering if she has heard about Victoria and how she is passionate about literally everything in her life. Lady Delphine, who is known for being reserved, admits that a person like her can never act that way, and she is actually low-key envious. Delphine is the beloved mistress of the late king, someone who is famous for not losing her beauty even after aging. Not even the official king knew her real age. One time, a butler casually brought up her age, and the dude got banished on the spot. Since then it became a full-on taboo to discuss anything about her age in the palace. And, honestly, the palace runs on rules of unspoken fear like that. It's kinda like that soldier who once babbled that Lady Victoria is more his type than Lady Delphine. Guess what? He is missing now, vanished into thin air, and because of that incident, this whole comparison thing also became a giant taboo. The ladies sip their tea and think that Victoria really is something else. She's got this insanely strong will, while they, on the other hand, feel way too delicate. But Delphine claps back in her elegant way, saying they have gentlemen to protect them anyway, and being bold is literally the birthright of a man. She milks their sympathy, going full, oh no, fragile her, and even warns that when Victoria attends the soiree, someone as frail as her might get pushed aside by Victoria. The ladies each reassure her, no way that's going to happen, she's literally the most powerful belle of the society court. They all swear they'll protect this fragile headache of a woman. Delphine smiles like she just pulled off a sneaky little win, super glad to have them on her side. Tomorrow the king is officially getting crowned, and Victoria will officially become queen. But here's the tea, Delphine has never even met Victoria before. She wonders if Victoria secretly hates her, and then even considers that it might actually be good if Victoria doesn't attend the soiree at all, because, honestly, that would totally put her anxious heart at ease. The other ladies can totally read her mind, this woman just wants to block Victoria from climbing to the soiree. Still, they keep their mouths shut, because even if Delphine has strong strings in the room, Victoria is still the future queen. Nobody's dumb enough to say it out loud. But among them sits an absolute airhead named Sarah, who straight up blurts that for Lady Delphine's sake, she is going to help her. Delphine thanks her politely but already knows this child is about to flop hard. Sarah beams proudly and announces she has the greatest idea ever. She says she's going to send Victoria a mountain of gifts and then fill them with poisoned food. According to her, Victoria will definitely eat them, get a major stomachache, and won't be able to attend the banquet. But, like girl, what? She's totally forgetting that poison is not stomachache juice, it's literally for killing. If anyone finds out that Victoria was poisoned by Delphine's order, it will instantly be considered treason, and Delphine is going to end up hanged. This plan is so dumb it's basically begging the Grim Reaper to RSVP. Sarah is way too ready for this, like she literally does not care about anything else. She says they are her knights, so if they are not going to help her today at the Queen's room, then when? Victoria, meanwhile, sees that she got enough gifts and starts wondering if someone is actually out here with good intentions. She first notices ragged clothes, then tea that might have expired, a magic girl, spicy Maya, and even this frog that looks like random garbage. Then she sees wine that straight up screams Peking's brand. Sarah wishes that Victoria would just drink this 10 million gold wine and then suffer from a stomachache, so that she can become Delphine's favorite face in the end. She is so sure that if that happens, Delphine is going to love her even more. For Sarah, though, her master is actually her idol. She is the type of person who is down bad enough to do anything for her idol. Truly, a bothersome fan, because she thinks Delphine is kind even to an idiot like her. A few years ago, Delphine, upon asking around, learned that Sarah is the daughter of the Marquis, and also that no one really likes to get involved with her. But Delphine goes ahead, talks to her, and even says that it is dull to just stand here, so how about she goes to the ladies? At that time, Delphine shared stories with her and even laughed over her silly tales. It was actually a good memory for Sarah. For Lady Delphine's sake, Sarah just wants her to gulp down this wine, even if it kills her. Victoria is just about to drink it when she starts to sniff it, but she gets mercilessly played like a fiddle. Victoria storms down and slams open the door, almost knocking the souls out of Sarah's body. Victoria knows that Sarah is the daughter of the Marquis, and points out that if Sarah really had business with her, she should have called out to her directly. Sarah is gasping, shocked that there are really people who look down on others from such a high place. Sarah insists she has nothing to talk to her about, but Victoria argues that she doesn't need to conceal anything. After all, she would not be giving her all these gifts if there was nothing to say. Victoria demands she speak up, because she is going to hear her out. Victoria is literally shaking with a brain full of thoughts, yet also feeling oddly streaky amazing. Sarah tells her that it can be anything. Victoria replies yes, and Sarah finally states that she would like her not to attend the soiree tomorrow. Victoria questions why that is, but Sats shakes and says she cannot tell this to her. She insists that she is doing this for someone really important to her, someone who actually fears and maybe even dislikes Victoria. Sarah is tense, worrying if the queen is going to get mad after all, because she is the queen. What if she takes offense at being asked not to attend the soiree tomorrow? Worst case, she might even throw her in jail. Sarah is paranoid enough to imagine she might get hanged too. She starts panicking, because she really needs to fix this mess, but she has no idea how to help Delphine. Victoria tells her to calm down, because she is in the presence of the queen. Sarah drops to her knees, thinking how the heck this queen has such a strong voice. She is even greater than the king himself. Victoria understands that Sarah is putting her life in danger just to help her friend, and she praises her for that kind of devotion. Sarah, on the other hand, thinks the queen must be dumb, because she literally was about to hand her poison. Victoria roars at her to keep quiet, because she is the only one who knows about this poison thing, so she better not tell anyone and just get lost. Some people will probably say the queen is being too lenient with someone who dared to poison her, but she knows Sarah did it out of loyalty to her friend. Even if it was evil, she is willing to forgive her. Sarah is left in tears. Servants start coming to the room, so Victoria tells Sarah to repeat this to her friend that she is not going to back down, nor is she going to flee. They shall face each other at the soiree tomorrow. She smiles and shuts the door. Meanwhile in the queen's dressing room, someone splashes poison on her dresses, smiling to themselves that now she won't be able to attend the soiree at all. 3 hours before the ball, the head maid is standing there all anxious. Victoria tells her to elaborate why she cannot wear her dress. The head maid explains that when she went to fetch the dress from the dressing room, she found it lying on the floor, completely covered in burrs. There were so many that they clung to the entire gown, the bustier, and even the undergarments. She cries out that she is really sorry, but it is literally impossible to clean them all in less than 3 hours. Victoria tells them to just forget about it. She is not talking about the ball itself, but the dress. She says she is not going to wear a gown at all. Don't worry, though she is not about to pull up to the ball naked either. Everyone, meanwhile, is praising how amazing Delphine looks in her dress. Delphine tells the other ladies that the queen will not be able to attend today's ball because her dress was ruined. She says it with a smile, thinking it was worth the trouble. She never really trusted Sarah to handle something like this, so she had to take the matter into her own hands. If anyone had actually seen her ruining Victoria's dress, her life would have been in danger. But now everything is done, and the queen won't be able to attend the ball. Tonight belongs to Delphine, and the entire social circle is hers. If the queen does not come to the ball, then Delphine's faction will be completely in her favor, because her social circle is the most powerful one. The former king loved her. The current king takes a lot of care of her too. She cannot afford to lose this position. To her, this social circle is like a field that she has cultivated with her own hands. It is her potato field, actually, because she is the daughter of a baron, the owner of the potatoes field. She is beautiful and acts sophisticated, but deep down she still feels like a farmer. She used to roam outside, making flower crowns, picking blossoms, and even sucking nectar straight from them. Because of her melons, people often thought of her as a dancer. She used to share her random farming knowledge with total strangers. That's what the former king loved about her, which is why the bewitching farmer's daughter became such a proud mistress. She is feeling super good, basking in the attention everyone is giving her. But the moment doesn't last, because the guards burst open the doors and announce that the king and queen are making their entrance. Delphine is utterly shocked to hear this, and when she looks up, she sees Victoria storming in wearing a knight's uniform. Everyone is shook beyond belief. Delphine screams that it is way too rude for a lady to wear men's clothing. But Victoria points out that she is allowed to do as she pleases. After all, she is technically the ruler of this land. Fred may hold the crown, but he doesn't have the guts to say otherwise. Delphine screams at her that she looks like a double-legged carrot, too ugly even to be sold in the market, and she cannot believe that she is using something like this in the name of the king. Victoria says to her that she does not care about these things. After all, everyone here is somehow related to her, and since she is the queen, she does think highly of herself but still treats others with courtesy. Delphine mentions that she does not agree with this because she has heard that Victoria is the type to not bow in front of others, but Victoria asks her to dance with her. The current music is really fast, and Delphine feels sure that Victoria will not be familiar with this song, so she is going to do anything to make her fall. The people cannot believe that these two ladies are going to dance, indeed a dance between monsters. Delphine has really tried to warn her in her own way not to come to the ball and not to try to fight with her, but soon she realizes that she is floating in the air. Her body feels so light, and it has never felt like this even though she has done many diets. Every time she tries to make Victoria makes it clear that she is not going to ask her why there is this burr in her hair or what she did with her dress, and she does not care about her feelings of hatred toward her. She only wants her to live her life as she pleases and enjoy it to the fullest, and not use her puppets to do things that can be turned into treason. She is speaking about Sarah, because this time she has given mercy but she will not do that again. It is not her who will refuse to forgive, but the law itself, and she knows that Delphine will not want Sarah to lose her life. Even though Delphine is rumored to be selfish and cold, she is not the type to cut off people so mercilessly. In truth, the butler and the soldier who were said to have gone missing were actually sent to farming, and the harvest has also bloomed because of the mandatory labor. Victoria, while talking to her, can tell that she is really passionate about the things she adores, like Lady Sarah. She could have thrown her out, but she did not, and Victoria really likes this side of her, in fact she loves it. She adds that Delphine has a bewitching physique and great manners, and she really likes those women who work hard on themselves. She admits she has a thing for hardworking women, and if she had been the mistress of the past king, she would have taken her for herself. She asks her to keep in her heart all the things she has said she likes about her, and with a little brush of her hand the dance ends. Delphine is left blushing with how handsome she is. Thus the fight between these two monsters ends, and the victory lies in the mysterious clues of Victoria's way. Some time later, the club named Wanting to See the Queen Again in the man's clothing starts to hype up, and apparently the president of this club is someone who has always loved Carrot. They do not know who that person is, but the truth is known to us. Delphine too is living her life the way she wants, and at her fullest. Later, a figure is seen walking among the maids. The maids look at this person, unable to know who it is. The man walking sees his reflection in the mirror and realizes something strange. He nearly forgot that the maids who had let him come inside also left a kiss on his neck. All this time this person has been traveling alone, and is also lucky, because right at this time the queen is looking for a sorcerer. While he is at it, he is also planning to seduce the queen so that he can become her lover and then, for the rest of his life, live comfortably. After all, he is a great magic man, and he also possesses magic eye. He really senses it as he looks forward to meeting his queen. Victoria welcomes Maria to her castle. Maria points that the way Victoria's eyes are fixed on her, it seems more like she is welcoming the demon lord itself, but she is also happy to see her. Victoria asks why Maria has come, because if she came all the way to see her, she is curious to know what business Maria has with her. Maria replies that since she is her sister, she simply wanted to see her face every once in a while, and Victoria thinks this is not something she expected to hear from someone who once wanted her man. Maria answers that she knows very well what Victoria is thinking, that she was fighting for the prince, but in truth she was actually after the money that could have helped her family. Of course, she still does like Fred, the king, but not in a romantic way. Rather than love, it is more like the feeling of getting your pet into your own arms. On the other hand, Victoria really and deeply loves Fred, so the two of them are coming from completely different places. Victoria agrees that this is rather true. She does love Fred day and night, and she is only loving him now. Maria then moves to the important topic. She explains that she has actually come here to warn Victoria, and she is grateful that she was able to get an audience with her before that man. She has heard that a new sorcerer has been appointed for her, and that sorcerer is, in fact, related to her family. She urges Victoria not to let her guard down in front of him, and not to even look into his eyes. That man is her cousin, and he possesses the captivating eyes of the fairy divine protection. Maria warns her not to let her heart be swayed by him. She admits that she feels truly ashamed for speaking ill of her own relative, but he is nothing more than a deadbeat leech, a man who provides nothing and only consumes. On the other side, this very sorcerer is getting himself ready. He thinks that his uniform is really nice and that the people on the queen's side are treated in an excellent manner. He is super happy to have been able to get her S-rank sorcerer license, because being a civil servant is the best. All that he has to do is seduce the 19-year-old queen, and he will live comfortably for the rest of his life. The king also seems harmless, more like a fool. Speaking of which, he thinks that he is looking quite dashing today. In truth, he is a peak narcissist. He always says such things whenever he sees his own reflection anywhere, because there is not a single person who will turn him down. After all good girls like bad boys. The things he says are rather hollow, and it makes it difficult to actually believe that he earned his difficult sorcerer license, that he is Michael, the man who has passed the exam without studying magic at all, because whomever he looks at with his eyes, whether it is a man or a woman, they get seduced by him. There is a thin line between being a true genius and whatever he is, and he only wishes to see his queen. Now at the king's office. Fred feels chills running through his body, almost as if someone is saying something rude about him. Victoria shares the same reaction, and she believes they need to find that person and kill him. Fred tries to joke that she does not need to do anything, because her presence alone is enough to kill anyone, but deep inside he wonders what it could mean, because this feeling must be some kind of premonition. Victoria points out that regardless of it being a premonition or more, what is not meant to cling will not cling, and what is meant to come will not go away. Fred notices that she clearly knows something, and he really wants to help her, but he sees how calm and cool she already is, so the more he thinks about it, the more he questions if there is anything at all that he can truly help her with. Finally, he says it out loud, declaring that if there is anything troubling her, she can tell him openly. After all, he is the king. Victoria simply speaks her mind and admits that a man. We see that Maria is taking a bath, and all the maids are so kind to her that she begins to think she would like to live here. Maria's image is that of a low-key woman who does not truly know her place, and someone who tried to sleep with the prince as if to make herself forget the whole ordeal about breaking off the engagement and seducing the king. Now it has settled into nothing more than a cute quarrel between the couple. Since that day, Victoria has not done anything, and she is always present, watching quietly. Maria cannot truly enjoy all this luxury, because back at her home she never had such comfort, but she feels a little sorry that she has not seen the king and the queen together. She thinks perhaps they are only busy with political work, and she hopes that is the case, and not something darker that has arisen because of Michael. As if to answer her thoughts, the devil himself appears. Michael suddenly shows up, and Maria immediately hurries to call for the guards, because she knows he is dangerous. He tries to stop her, warning that if she rings the bell, he will get caught. Maria tells him coldly that even though they are cousins, he should know the outcome of sneaking into a lady's room in the middle of the night. But his narcissistic attitude makes him think otherwise, as he declares that the ladies should be happy to see him at such an hour. Maria sighs and tells him she is already tired of seeing his face. He finally agrees to back down, but he notices with confusion that she is not affected at all by his seduction. He asks her if she said anything unnecessary to the queen. Maria lies smoothly, insisting of course not, that she would never do anything like that. But Michael throws a tantrum, accusing her of lying. He is frustrated, because the queen herself hired him 3 days ago, and yet he has still not met her. It is clear to him that she is deliberately avoiding him. Maria points out calmly that it may simply be because the queen dislikes him. Michael refuses to believe that, claiming there is no way in hell it could be true, because he has never once had to worry about women, even outside the country. He boasts of his magical eyes that seduce anyone, his skincare routine that takes 3 hours every day, his careful makeup, and his outrageous fashion sense that is enough to make women drop at his feet. Maria sighs, admitting in a half-hearted way that she does admire his passion for putting so much effort into his appearance, though in truth his eyes alone are enough to seduce most. Michael replies that he has thought about this deeply and believes that someone like him is best suited to be the queen's lover. On top of that, he argues, he is more than capable of becoming her true consort. Maria's family, he adds, would also gain great benefit from such a connection. Maria stares at him in silence, realizing with unease that this offer is actually very tempting, but she really cannot let him come closer to her sister, so she pushes him out of the window, warning that it is already getting late and he had better do his own work. Seeing him crawling along the wall, she remarks that he will manage just fine even if he turns into a cicada. Michael finally understands that she is trying to interfere in his affairs, yet he assures her that he is absolutely going to make her queen fall in love with him. He even declares that he is going to take her in by revealing the secret of how to achieve silk-like, milky smooth skin, for after all, there is not a single girl who would fail to fall for his charm. She sighs at his persistence, knowing that despite having the gift of seduction, his actual flirting skills remain as mediocre as ever. 3 days later, at the back of the palace, Victoria mentions to Fred that she wished to go outside. Fred immediately questions her, asking if she has started to grow tired of being looked after so carefully. Victoria explains that this is not at all what she is saying, but Fred insists that she cannot go outside, because if she does, another man may try to come for her. Victoria, filled with unshaken energy, counters by asking how he can even think that she would love another man when she is already so deeply in love with him. Fred grows more serious, telling her that she still needs to wait much longer, for just now he has requested the alchemist to make an anti-magic ring that will cancel out all seduction magic. Until it is ready, she must remain inside the palace. Yet Victoria, playful and sincere, claims that there is no need to go so far, especially not to the point of serving her himself. He argues, what if that man comes in disguise as a maid or any other servant? The meals he brings taste bitter, almost unbearable, and he himself feels like he might vomit them out. But to his surprise, he sees Victoria eating with perfect ease. Fred confesses that he knows it is a cruel thing to have her locked inside here and to make her eat such unappealing food. Victoria only smiles in return, reminding him that a meal made by one's lover can never be truly bad. Once again, Fred finds himself swayed completely by her words and her unwavering heart. Still, he voices his fear that it remains possible she could fall under the spell of that other man, and for this reason she must remain by his side. He insists that he is going to protect her this time. Victoria rises gracefully, lifting his chin with her hand. She assures him that his wish is her command, declaring that her happiness is found entirely in loving him. Fred, however, feels a tremor inside, realizing how utterly cool this girl is in her devotion. At the same time, he feels that he himself has always been the greatest fool, and so he resolves not to let go of Victoria's handsomeness and love. Victoria tells him that all he needs to do is fill her with love. Poor Fred is just about to make a move when, suddenly, the door bursts open. Michael is sleeping when he suddenly jolts awake. He rises and tells the other sorcerer there that they ordered him to do the night shift, and he remains in pain as he asks them if it would not be great if they could take his place. But they tell him that what he is talking about makes no sense, and he had better attend to the duty that he has been assigned for. Yet Michael uses his seduction eye on them, and they say that of course they will do it for him. They ask him to just return to his room and take some rest, but his captain comes and smacks him. The captain shouts at him that he has already told him not to use his magic of eye in the royal court. Michael cries that it is unfair that the captain uses the anti-magic glasses. He is huffing that his job is to guard the queen, but the sorcerer at the royal court also needs to do the part-time. He cries that he does not want to work if he is unable to see the queen. The captain tells him simply to go and kill any monster or ghost that he spots. Michael walks away, saying that he first is going to get a good broom to take with him. He opens the magic broom room and sees that they are quite old, but it also seems like they will break if he tries to put any magic on them. But anyway, he starts his adventure, though this broom is not ready for flight. He begs the broom not to do this and to work, but the broom breaks, and he is skydiving, something for which he was not ready. He is crying that if he does not use magic, he is really going to die. And now the story returns to where it left off, as this also causes a heart attack to Fred. Victoria hits his heart to make him come back to life. Fred looks to see what in the world just happened. Fred goes to him, asking if he is really fine, and thinks that they really need to get more brooms for the sorcerer. He is just about to reach for Michael when he sees that green mystic eye of Michael and wonders if he is the one after Victoria. Their eyes meet and open a gap that is more than enough for their magic to take effect on them, but Michael is the one who is love-struck this time. He finds this fool so pretty that his heart is beating super fast. He thinks he is in love. It is a beautiful encounter, as pure-blooded royalty possesses immense magical power, and the spell is automatically reflected. Thus Fred is completely protected from the spell. Michael is out of his mind to see Fred. He knows that he likes girls, but he really cannot stop thinking about Fred after seeing his face, that bright brown hair, that hot body, and those long lashes. Fred asks him if by any chance he is related to Victoria. Michael says that this is right, as he wanted to be the Queen's sorcerer personally, but now he is more interested in Fred, and he asks if they can get a private room. Victoria shouts at him to restrain himself, as all these things are only allowed to be done to Fred by her. Michael asks that if so, then she is the Queen, and she says yes, and Fred is her spouse. This reminds Michael that he actually came to use his eyes on the Queen, and all wobbly, he walks toward her, getting super close. He asks her why they do not become lovers, because the king might have lovely milk tea-colored hair, but it does not match her honey-colored hair. And he is going to brush her hair every day and also make her wear the matching outfits with that, and he is quite the devoted type, so he asks her to let him attend to her, but Michael notices that this is not working on her at all, and he feels that his charm is repelled, as smoothly as rubber repels the electric current. He also is getting the feeling that his magic is not working at all. Fred comes between them and asks Michael to get away from her, but as soon as Michael's eyes fall on Fred, his button switches. He states to the king that he does not want to dress the queen but that he will be having much more fun in dressing up the king, and he is sure that he is going to look good in anything that Michael makes him wear. He totally wants to do it right now. Victoria glares at Michael, demanding with her eyes that he remove his hand from her man. This single action is enough to make both of them tremble. She pulls Fred toward herself and reveals that she is actually quite peaceful, but the fact that Michael dared to make a pass at her man right in front of her is something she is not going to accept. She draws the dagger from Fred and shouts at Michael, challenging him to face her and fight, because she is the only one who is allowed to walk with Fred. Michael becomes truly terrified of her demon-like aura. Until now, not a single person has dared to complain against him. People always obeyed what he told them to do, and they always thought he was a rather cool man. He has always been spoiled, always given everything no matter what he does. Everyone indulges him, and his mother also adored him, always doting on him. He was not sure whether it was because of his eyes, though in truth, due to his father's orders, he was thrown into the academy. After that, he never saw his mother again. He never feels guilty for anything, since he thinks it is not really his fault. After all, he reasons that it is the people's fault for falling head over heels for him. He is immensely talented and spoiled, a brat who bottles up all his feelings of guilt and hides them, so that others cannot see through those eyes. Yet still, not a single person has ever scolded him until now. Victoria scoffs at him, and at this single thought, Michael falls to his knees and declares that he is truly sorry and that he got ahead of himself. Victoria remarks that this is good, and she accepts his apology. Still, she cannot let anyone else covet her man. She wishes the people to love their ruler, and she also knows that the robe Fred is wearing marks him as a member of the mages. Therefore, if Michael truly loves his ruler, he must allow himself to be taken as a mage who adores their ruler. In turn, she will allow him to become hers as well. Michael becomes teary-eyed and calls her dear sister. Victoria permits him to use that title only in this moment. Just then, Maria arrives. She explains that she has heard Michael broke down the building while flying, so she has come to check upon her. She sees that Michael is still there and orders him to leave. After all, Victoria is only her sister, and Maria now properly understands the situation. She steps forward and delivers a harsh slap across Michael's face. He cries out that this is the worst thing she has done to his beautiful face. Maria turns to Victoria, and seeing this, she declares that everything is settled. She will go back to her room and will also take her foolish cousin with her. The king and queen are watching them while Michael shouts that he still has matters to discuss with the queen. Fred calls out to Victoria. She responds by reflecting aloud that, after hearing the conversation between Fred and the mage, she realizes she also has weaknesses. Even she is not free from weakness, whether he believes it or not. Fred thinks to himself that if she is considered weak, then so is that legendary dragon he has been hearing rumors about, wherever that may be. Even god-slaying heroes and giants from the age of the gods would be considered weak by that metric, but he don't say that out loud and assures her that if there are weaknesses, he will help her to strengthen them, since she has always done the same for him. He promises to return the favor. Victoria tells him that there is something only he can do for her, and that is to remain by her side always and also to die by her side. He may stray if he likes, but he must know that he must always return to her. In short, they must stay together forever. And once again, the scene confirms that Victoria is the greatest in the world.